I think everyone watching right now can band together and agree that in 2025, no one should still be wasting their time sending out countless resumes to get zero response. I know that for me personally, it bothers me and it takes a toll on my self-esteem if I have been working really hard at completing a job application, dedicating my time, my effort, only to get rejected or maybe even ghosted altogether. At this point, you might wonder, well, is it me? What have I been doing wrong? And besides, you don't know what you don't know, right? Well, today I want to help those of you who are still in the struggle of getting noticed by potential employers. I also want to make you aware of some of the common mistakes that you might be making right now and get you on the right track to landing a job. In today's video, I have invited our good friend, Ashley Thomas. She is a recruiter, a career coach, and a resume strategist. She's going to shed some light on how job seekers can improve their applications and even stand out in today's highly competitive job market. So whether you are writing your very first resume or maybe you're updating it for the remote job market of 2025, this video is packed with everything that you need to avoid the pitfalls and create a resume that gets results. So if you're ready to work from home this year and maybe even get your next best job, let's get started.
So I know the focus mainly here is for people wanting remote jobs, but not all the time can you land that remote job right away. So you may find yourself in a hybrid situation or working on site for a period of time before you're actually transition over into a remote opportunity. That's what happened to me. I got my first opportunity working remote in 2012, and I didn't look back. So I've been working from home for that time, especially being a corporate recruiter, because I'm talking to so many candidates and filling positions all over the US. I'm not in a position where it requires me to be in a particular location. I did do it on site, but I pretty much stayed at work with my door closed on the phone. So I decided to transition everything to home. And I found out that actually works better for me. I am far more productive at home than I am at work in an office with all of the distractions, with people talking and moving around, because sometimes people see you and then they have a million questions just because they see your face. Yeah. So I do want to speak to the things that you can do for your resume in order to get those remote opportunities, hybrid or on-site, whatever your situation may be. So my client base is typically mid-career into senior level professionals who want to land more interviews and six-figure salaries doing jobs that they enjoy. Okay. So that's a big thing for me, is finding opportunities that you actually enjoy doing, because just from my experience, I don't know that there's a such thing as your dream job, because it doesn't have to be the job of your dreams, because the job of my dreams is really working with butterflies and coloring books. That would be my dream job. But recruiting and job search coaching and all of that, those are things that I enjoy. So I'm going to speak from that standpoint. I've been a job seeker too within the last couple of years, even though I'm in my business full time right now. So there are certain aspects that you can carry over. So this is something that everybody will actually get some benefit from.
Awesome.
So I want to start with, like I said, I'm giving you 5 strategies. So I'm, trying to lump it all into one, and then I'll give you some examples, and then we'll do that quick resume review. So start with the end in mind whenever you are starting to write your resume, because some people, what they would do, this is the average person. And then when I'm saying the average person, I'm talking about me too. Okay. So you see a position that you want to apply for, in your head that you can do the job, because you're like, yep, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And you go ahead and apply for it because you've updated your resume and you think you're prepared for it. But then you get that rejection letter and you're wondering why. And it is because you have not done your self-inventory to figure out what are those things that you do well. What do you want to be known for? What value do you bring? What areas or competencies, what areas of expertise do you have? You haven't thought about it in a way that it has to be present on your document. So while you may know in your head what you have experience with and the value that you brought and the success that you've had at work, you have not articulated that in your document. So you want to do that self-inventory first, so you can document everything that you've done that is similar to the types of roles that you want to do, because that's how you identify and research your job target. So before you even begin to write your resume, you don't write your resume and then go looking for jobs that match that resume. You find the opportunities that you want, and then you target your resume for that specific thing. So your job target is the type of job that you want. So say it's healthcare, say it's recruiting, say it's customer service. Those are your job targets. But then when you tailor your resume, you are making sure that you're including skills, competencies, education, and work scenarios that align with that job target. Right? So tailoring and targeting are two different things. It has all of these pieces to the puzzle, and then you have to piece yourself together to match, to build that particular puzzle, right? Because the job description is the blueprint. The posting is the blueprint. So it is your job as the candidate to present that information in a way that somebody who is reviewing your information, it could be the recruiter or the hiring manager, can understand how the work that you've done aligns with what you want to do. So that is how you build that information and put it together to come up with your UVP, which is your unique value proposition. So that means, what do you do better than anybody else? What are you the go-to resource for? We are all good at something. It doesn't matter whether or not you're in an entry-level role or whether you're in a senior leader opportunity. You provide value. But you have to market that value in a way that it resonates with the person who is reviewing your document. All right, so then you want to quantify your achievements. So you want to talk about things in your resume that shows how you were successful in the skills that you've listed on your resume. So you've got this section on your resume where you're saying, okay, these are my areas of strength, this is my expertise, these are my skills. Right? But then I'm reading the document and I don't see anywhere that you've backed that up to show me that you are successful. That is what your resume is for. It is your career marketing tool that is helping the person that reads your resume understand how you add value in those particular areas, and it has to align with the position. So you have to show how you saved money or made money. How do you improve or create processes that didn't exist before, and that somehow impacted your company's bottom line, right? How do you eliminate risk? So when you're thinking about those even remote opportunities, how are you able to add this value when your manager isn't there looking over your shoulder to check the work? How are you being productive? And so productive means that you are producing results from the work that you're doing, right? So you have to show, how are you building those relationships? How are you keeping those relationships going? Because you're not on site with the person. Some people think when you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So what is it that you're doing to keep yourself in front of the people that you need to be in front of? How are you being involved in projects? How are you influencing change across your organization or across your department or business unit, or whatever you want to call it in that particular situation? So you want to think about the things that you are able to do successfully, even though there's a disconnect between your physical location. Okay, so that is the only difference really in those remote opportunities. There is no other difference, because you're doing the same type of work. It's just that your manager isn't there, to be able to check in and pop in and, into your office and physically see what you're doing. So your goal is to show that I can still get things done. I don't have to be on site. And so that was one of the things that I had to transition into doing when I left a physical office to start working remote. I had to show that my work product was not going to decrease, that I was still able to meet my goals, that I was still holding myself accountable for my work output. So none of that could be compromised just because I'm not there to have somebody looking over my shoulder, right? So that is what you're proving when you're starting those remote opportunities, because some jobs can be done from everywhere, but managers don't trust that because they think that you may be out somewhere shopping, you're somewhere getting your nails and your toes done. Well, I'm going to tell you, I got my nails and toes, hair and everything done while, I was working remotely, but I took my laptop with me, because remotely does not mean that you have to be at home. That's not what remote means. Remote means that you can work anywhere that is off site. That's what that means. So you have to show that regardless, that if you're sitting on the beach, you're sitting in a chair getting your nails done, that you are available to the people that you are hired to support. Okay, so just remember those things. So the qualifications that you have to have are basically the same. All right, so then you want to showcase your strategy and your vision. How are the efforts that you're putting forth every day? How are those things benefiting your team? How are they benefiting your business unit? Again, where are you saving the money? Where are you having the impact? Where is your ROI? What is the benefit of them having you on site? So when you think of, or having you not be on site, so you're working remotely and still getting things done. But a phrase that I want you guys to remember is, if I don't show up, meaning that if I don't do what's supposed to be done, If I don't show up, what blows up? Okay. So if I don't show up and do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, what goes wrong? Because some people say, well, I don't have a whole lot of accomplishments. I don't have a superpower. I don't, I just do my job. Well, you have to do some things. You think about it in the reverse. If I don't do the task that I'm doing every day, what goes wrong? Okay. What bill doesn't get paid? What process doesn't get completed? What project fails because I wasn't there to keep things in order, to check the progress, to make sure that we're reaching those milestones. So you do have accomplishments to list on your resume. You just have to be able to think about those in a creative way. And then if you are someone who is not in leadership yet, but maybe you're an individual contributor right now, but you want to transition into those leadership opportunities, you need to be able to show if you were a project manager, and you don't even have to have that official title as a manager, you don't have to have direct reports or any of that to be considered a leader. Who do you mentor? Who do you coach? Whose performance are you responsible for? How do you move things along when there's bottlenecks and processes? How do you work with cross-functional teams? How do you work with people across different business units to accomplish a main goal? That is how you differentiate yourself as a leader when you have not had direct reports yet, okay? So don't count yourself out when positions are saying, oh, you need to have at least 1 year of supervisory experience. There are transferable skills in the fact that you've had to direct a team, watch their performance or track their performance, track those milestones, and you've also been the go-to person to answer those questions and provide the support that they need to move things along. That is leadership. How have you inspired someone else that doesn't report to you to get things done? Why do they trust you as the authority in that situation? So think about those times and you list those experiences, and that can help elevate you from that individual contributor level into a leadership opportunity. All right, so I want you to remove these phrases from your resume. Now look, I'm guilty. I had these things in my resume too. If you could see the initial resume that I wrote, because I wasn't always good at writing resumes. When I go back and kind of look at my original resume, it was trash. Completely trash, dumpster, fire trash, okay? But then as I learned the things from working with my hiring managers, what is it that hiring managers want to see, right? I'm able to then cut through the red tape, read the job posting, and then market myself as if I'm the product and I need them to purchase me. Purchase the product, because that's what my salary is. You're purchasing my time. You're purchasing my expertise. What makes them want to not only purchase my expertise, but at top dollar? Because that's the key. You want to try to make as much money as you make, as you can make for that particular position without you having to do anything extra. There are a lot of roles that you can do right now with the skills you already have. So even with those customer service jobs, depending on where you are, doing that same exact job in a different capacity, it could be the difference between you making $22 an hour and $40 an hour. So you literally can double your salary just by researching other opportunities. So a customer support person could easily transition into a client success role. Same thing, it's customer service. They just put a fancy title on it, gave you some accounts that you have to manage, boom, you can double your salary. Okay, so stop counting yourself out just because you feel like you don't meet this traditional sense. I didn't get a degree to be a recruiter. That's not what I did. I thought I was going to be an HR manager. That's why I got my degree in HR. But because my manager didn't want to do the recruiting, the recruiting part of her job, she gave it to me. So I kind of fell into recruiting. Typically, people don't go to school to be recruiters, right? You kind of just happen upon those positions. So in those instances, think about ways that you can make impact with these skills that you already have, because they need to be transferable, right? So I want you to remove these phrases. Responsible for. Responsible for does not mean that you did something, okay? It's just that you were responsible for it. That's all that says. When I see that on your resume, I'm like, okay, yeah, you were responsible for it, but did you do it, right? So if you have that on your resume, delete it and just start with what you were responsible for. Just start it there. So if you have responsible for managing blah, 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 just start it off with managing. Because you think about it, you were responsible for making your bed as a kid. You're responsible for paying your bills on time, but none of that means that you actually do it. So talk about the things from, I've done this. I'm not new to this. This is my lane. You can't tell me how to operate in my lane. I know my stuff. Say it with your chest. because confidence is everything in your job search. So as long as you have the confidence in your ability, you can sell that. But you have to have that confidence, because if you don't believe it, it's going to be hard for you to convince somebody who doesn't know you, who hasn't seen your actual work, right? It's hard to convince them that you've actually done it. So again, team player, gang members are team players. Okay, so that's not telling me anything.
That's true.
Yeah, what I want to see is that what did you do as a member of that team? So when in your interview, when people ask you questions about you, those behavioral based questions that say, tell me about a time that you worked with a team to solve a problem. You're not in here with this we business. We're not French. You're talking about I. There's no I in team when you are interviewing. Okay, that interview is all about you. That resume is all about you. You can say that you contributed to that team, but again, you're talking about what you did. Multitasker. Listen, I've multitasked a lot and getting the thing done. I'm over here doing laundry, I'm washing dishes, I'm answering the phone. Before you know it, I'm scrolling on YouTube. Like, what am I doing, right? So you multitasking isn't telling me anything. Tell me the things that you were able to do, multiple projects simultaneously producing these results, right? So that's where I want to hear it for. And then detail oriented, that doesn't mean anything. Scammers are detail oriented. Okay. No objective statements, get rid of it. If you're talking about what you're seeking, what you want, and all of that, the employers don't care about that. They want to know, what value do you bring? What problem can you solve for me? So flip it from an objective statement to a summary statement or an executive profile. Talk about the things that your skills, the results that they're able to produce. So again, saving money, making money, improving processes, building relationships. Proven track record, results driven, those are okay to say, but if you're not backing it up with results and you're talking about all the tasks, this laundry list of tasks, you're not giving me what I need. All you're doing is just a bunch of fluff. You're just making it up, right? So that's what we're going to get into. The next one, cut the fluff. Cut it out. Don't give me empty promises. Don't tell me in the summary part of your resume that you do all these grandiose things and then you're not backing any of it up. Right? So show me, tell me, prove it to me that you can add value. Soft skills. Yeah, you may want to have your soft skills kind of woven into your resume, but you don't want to rely so heavily on those things because soft skills are more personality based things. Like verbal and written communication skills, while they are important, I can tell that you have good written communication skills just by how your resume presents. I can tell how you communicate with others by how you've telling me the story throughout your resume of the things that you've done with those cross-functional teams, how you've supported your manager, how you've worked with your customers. I can see them, those things. So don't fill the spaces in the skills section with soft skills when I really want to know those hard competencies. So thinking about it, when you're Googling something, you want to use those keywords to help find the thing that you want. And so if you're looking for a black and white sweater, are you going to search for thread, or are you going to search for long sleeve, V-neck, or whatever, things that actually matter? Because of course it's going to have thread. That's the same thing. Communication skills, listening skills, time management, even though those postings may mention it, those are not words that as a recruiter I would be searching for to find you. I'm going to look for those hard skills of things that you do. Project management, budgeting, accounting. Those are actually hard skills, things that you would have to have experience with or knowledge of. Soft skills are okay, but you need to weave them into the other parts of your document. All right, Too many bullets on these old jobs. So your resume as a whole, 10 to 15 years of experience. That's about as far back as you need to go. Okay, this is generally speaking. Everybody's situation is going to be different, but you look at it from the older you go back, the further you go back, those older jobs are going to count less, right? I want to see that relevant, recent experience. So that is where your transferable skills come in. You're showing me how the work you've done already is preparing you for the thing that you want to do next. All right. So if you're having things in there like in order to, or including but not limited to, other duties as assigned, those things are just wasting space. Your resume needs to be about 1 to 2 pages, maybe even 3, depending on the type of position that you're applying to. So 1 to 3 pages, generally speaking. You only have so much real estate there. You're not going to waste it putting extra words in there. So write tight, clearly, and concisely. So chop out all those extra words and get to the point. Let's see here. This is the bonus one. Don't forget to network. If you are applying online, because I see people all the time, especially on LinkedIn, they are posting things like, I've applied for 200 jobs. I've been out of work for a year, and my heart breaks for them because at some point, like, did you think something was going wrong at month 3? When you weren't getting any traction, right? Because the job of your resume is to get you an interview. So at whatever point you're having the roadblock, that's where you need to go back and visit. So if you're applying for jobs and you're not getting interviews, that means you need to visit the resume. If you are getting interviews, but you're not getting offers, then you need to look at what you're doing in the interview. So you can't keep on doing the same thing and expecting different results because it's not working. You need to either learn how to target and tailor your resume effectively, or you can get someone who is a recruiter, who is a hiring manager, who does the job that you do, that you want to do, who does what you do or does what you want to do, right? Let that person review your resume and tell you whether or not you're missing key components, because sometimes we can't see beyond our own mess, you know? So it's easy for us to tell people what we do, but to write about what we do is something completely different. Because you're like, did I put too much? Do I need to take this away? Does this even matter? You know, so have somebody look at it. But your resume needs to actually get in the hands of the person that is hiring or who is involved in that hiring decision. That may be the recruiter, the hiring manager, or someone in senior leadership who may be on that interview panel or something along those lines. So that's where networking is really important. Now, networking is cringy for me. Okay, so I'm to be honest. Even as a recruiter, networking is not really my favorite thing to do. That's because I was thinking of networking as this task, this intimidating thing. Networking is building relationships. You're networking right now. I see y'all adding and commenting back to each other in the comment section. You don't know these people, but you're talking to them. They're congratulating you. They're giving you information. That is networking. So 85% of open jobs, open positions that you see online, they are filled through networking. That's because somebody knew somebody who helped that somebody know you. Okay, so it's all about who you know. Don't get mad because somebody else got a job because they knew somebody. You need to know somebody too. So that's why you need to be out here networking and meeting people and letting them know what you want to do. If you are out of work and you have not posted to your network to let them know that you are out of work, there's nothing to be ashamed in job searching. What you should be ashamed of is not doing things to help yourself, right? There's no shame in you being out of work. There's no shame in being laid off. There's no shame in being fired. You can reinvent yourself with every new opportunity that you get. You have an opportunity to start over. But you need to let people know the types of jobs that you want, the types of things that you will do in that job, and the job titles that you're targeting. Give them those examples. Share your resume with them, because when people have a better understanding of what you want to do, they're more easily able to help you. And then they're not filling up your inbox with jobs that you don't even want to do. Because if you tell people, I just need a job, that's not going to work. So anyway, moving along, make sure that you're doing a lot to network. So this is one that the structure of it, this is page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay, just to make sure I put it all there. So I see that there is a full address. Stop putting your full address on your resumes. That is opening you up to your information is going. You don't know who's looking at that information. Now they know where you live. They only need your city, state, and zip. That's it. And may not even need the zip. But your city and state at the bare minimum. So I do like that they included their LinkedIn profile. That is awesome, because when I receive those resumes, whether you put that link on there or not, I'm going straight to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn tells more information, or should, and then I'm looking in your activity section of your LinkedIn profile to see how active you are, because that lets me know how likely I am to get a response from you. Should I reach out to you? I want to see what kind of information are you sharing? Are you a thought leader? So when you say that you share information, you translate it into digestible parts so that people can get, when you say all those things, I'm so technical, I'm the IT expert, whatever, but I don't see you sharing any IT information. It's like, well, who's telling the truth? Is it your resume that's true? I'm looking for inconsistencies, and everything. So kudos for putting your LinkedIn profile on there. Now, this person did list, but still, y'all leading with these years of experience. Everybody has worked with somebody who has been there forever, and they don't do jack. Okay.
Yes.
Your
Comfortable.
years of experience, right? Your years of experience don't matter. It's what did you achieve in that amount of time, right? So don't focus on the years of experience because you're exposing yourself to ageism.
Yeah.
Ageism, 40 plus, that's a protected age group. But ageism starts at around 35 to 37, right? Where people start judging you and thinking that you're old. When I was 20, I was 22 when I started recruiting. If I saw somebody who was 40, they were old as dirt to me. That's just, I'm just being honest. But now that I'm in my 40s, I'm not old.
She doesn't look like it already. She look good. Okay.
What you mean? Don't call me auntie.
And
I'm
still
not
young.
you know what I mean? So
Yes, ma'am.
you have to think about the person on the other side. That matters. What message are you sending? This person has a Hotmail email address. Come on into 2024 with me. Okay.
I'm guilty. I have AOL, so I'm gonna.
Oh my
God. As well as Gmail.
Come on now. Yes. Gmail is the gold standard. Okay. If you have an email address that aligns, it could be Outlook, it can be iCloud for the life of your career. Stay away. I would even say stay away from Yahoo. They have the worst spam filters. People are sending you information. They are sending you stuff, but Yahoo is not letting your information come through. Hotmail is not letting it come through. It's filtering it out. You're in spam, whatever, and your messages are in la la land. So you said, I haven't heard anything back. I haven't heard anything back. Yeah, you did. I sent you an assessment. I asked you questions, and you never responded to me. Then you don't answer your phone to numbers you don't know. So how am I going to get in contact with you? So that's one thing. So really, I know that this person is a mature individual because they have 26 years of experience and then they have a Hotmail, right? So, I already know. Then we're looking at the information and they have, now if you have these jobs that are older, it may not be a way, especially if you've been at your company for a long time, it may not be a way for you to chop that information off. But if your relevant experience is more valuable than that older experience, let it go. Let it go. If it's 10 years ago or more, let it go. It's fine. Let it go. You can put it on your LinkedIn, or take the years off and list it otherwise and say earlier career. And I think I have an example of that on mine, on my stuff. But yeah, so again, there's bullets. Bullets are only for your achievements. Okay. So when you don't have a description of what you do, in a few lines of every job that you have on your resume, talk about what you were hired to do. Talk about the challenges that you were hired to solve, right? Then your bullets are you showing your success doing those things. So everything up here that you've listed that you have experience with, then you want to show that your bullets are giving you, points of value. Okay. So you want to make sure of that. So I would say, focus on your scope because all these are task related. This looks like you probably just copied and pasted from your job description and plopped it there. So be more creative. Explain your job on your resume the same way that you would explain to somebody who you were teaching about what your job does. Okay. Assume the person on the other end has no idea what you do because 9 times out of 10 we don't. We're recruiters. Okay. We work in HR. We don't do IT. So you have to put it in a language that we understand, that language that matches the job posting, because that's what we have prepared for. So when you say, well, I have this experience, y'all should know. No, we don't. We don't know. We have a job description. That is the blueprint. Be careful with how you start your bullets because I see a lot of provide. We want providers. We love a good provider, but we need for you to use another word. So you can provide something, you can deliver something, you can direct something, you can lead something. Think about those power or those action verbs that explain what it is that you've achieved. Okay. So bullets kind of keep on to maybe 5 or 6 a job. The further you go back, you should have fewer bullets, regardless of how long you were there. Because you see, there's probably like 15 bullets at this last job. That's old. That's an older job. There's too much space. You spend too much time talking about something that happened that long ago. Okay. Everything else, I'm pretty, okay with it. I don't see any, major issues. Of course, I can chop and screw anything because I do this. But those are the fundamental things that I see that are an issue with this job. With this resume.
So that's all that we've got today. Guys, we love having Ashley Thomas here. If you want to connect with her, I will have all of her information listed down below in the description box down below. If you've got any more questions, let us know in the comments section and we will address those comments ASAP. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video added value to you in your career search, please go ahead and like it, subscribe for many more videos just like this one, and also to be in the know of when we will have our very next virtual job fair. So definitely stay in the know by subscribing, and we'll chat in the very next video. Talk to you then.